There we go. That should be audio. At least I think it is. Okay. Yep. Just doing a quick test here, guys. Nothing to get excited about. I'm going to pull apart this old machine. I'm done with it. It needs to go. So let's see here. Oh, the usual gang is here. Okay. Good enough. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to pull this old machine apart. I'm going to take parts out of it, set aside, but the box and the motherboard and it's going. I'll pull out the power supply because I want to use that in a different setup, which I've got parts back there. It's not the white build, it's something else I'm doing. But yeah, I'm just gonna pull this apart because I'm done with it. This is the machine I have demonstrated time and time again about Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. So this has served its purpose. At this point, I'm done. I'm not making any more videos about this stuff. If you folks don't have hardware to deal with Windows 11 within the next 13 months, 14 months, you're on your own. I'm not doing this anymore. Anyway, so that's what's happening. That's all this is about, is I'm taking things out. So I'm going to take myself off the screen here in a second, and then I am going to have at it. Okay, there we go. All right, I am going to pop out chat here and move it over to my other screen so I can see what you crazy people are talking about, which I can't imagine would be much. There can't be too many people watching this at this point. But I will humor everyone. Okay, so that's there. Anyway, all right. Like I said, I'm just testing the streaming rig to see if it's stable or not. The last time I did a live stream, it went badly. So I'm just going through the motions here just to get things done here. Card out. Yeah, there we go. All right. Take this USB 3 card out of here. I might be able to reuse this. I might be able to reuse that. I've always probably got to use for SATA SSD. This is 512. Yeah, I can use this if somebody has a hard drive that fails. So we can do that too. Let's see. Disable SATA cables out. They don't need to be in here anymore. Not like I don't have SATA cables. I got plenty of them. So that's no big deal. All right. Take the cooler off. The cooler I'm definitely going to reuse. This will work on AM4 and AM5. It's got the right hardware. Currently, this is an AM3 system. It's very old. In case some of you haven't been keeping up with things. Pull that fan out. Off. The fans, I'm going to reuse those too. Because I didn't put these in here not at that long ago. And they're not bad fans. Cooler Master, they run about 1200 RPM, so they're not very loud. They do provide more than adequate cooling, or additional cooling, if you will. So, get these out of here. One in the back here, there's one in the front. assuming that. Jesus, come on, Chip. It's nice time you had trouble finding the hole. Anyway. So that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm not sure what's been up with some of you guys. I don't do live streams very often, and it's not something that I'm terribly thrilled about. But so anyway, these are Cooler Master fans. You can get them in, I think, a 4 or a 5 pack. They're pretty cheap. And if you need some additional cooling in your case, you don't want to spend RGB or whatever the heck, these things are actually kind of cheap. They come in, like I said, they come in a multi-pack. And they run 1200 RPM. They're reasonably quiet. Right. Let's see, get the front. There we go. See what else is going on. Stealth Mode is here. Tony Wallow is here. Just you two guys for the moment. Okay. All right. I think this comes off. I don't remember, but I think this comes off. Yes, it does. Comes off. And I should be able to wrap this around. I may have to take the back cover off to get this out of here. I don't remember if I put, yes, I did. I put I put a zip tie on it. I couldn't remember if I had or had not. Okay, so let's get the DVD drive out. I can probably reuse that. So that's that. Put this back in here. All right, put that in there. I'm sure there's another screw here. There's this little USB 3 panel I need to get out. Get the cooler out. All that trouble I had getting it on there in the first place, now it doesn't want to come out. There. That's better. Okay. Get those brackets out. This fan disconnected. There we go. So there's that. Okay. Get the cooler off. So I'll reuse this one. See anybody else? Okay. Looks like you two are the only ones that are here. I appreciate you either way. Didn't expect too many people to show up. It is kind of late. It's after 8:30 already. This should be ready to come off. Doesn't feel like it. Okay, that's definitely off. It's definitely off. Oh, there we go. Now, is that coming out of the socket or what's going on here? Let's see. Nope. Okay, it stayed there. All right, good enough. Looks like the thermal paste had reasonable clean that off later. Gotta get these guys out of here. Actually, it's kind of loose. Kind of loose. Interesting. All right. Yeah, they. Oh, they tightened them down better than that, but apparently not. Still, didn't matter. Could never get the damn thing to overheat. So it's fine. All right. I think I'm going to take the DDR3 out and set that aside. There might be a situation where I might need it. I can't imagine what that would be, but it doesn't take a lot to store RAM. It takes a lot more to store this whole crap. So yeah, I think I'll just in case. I think, I'm not sure, but I think, is it 2 kits? Yeah, okay, it's 2 kits of 16. Okay, so 2 kits of 16. All right. Well, I'll keep them around. Take that bracket off. I definitely am going to have to get the bottom cover off, or the other side off, I should say, to get this stuff out of here. Disconnect this. Disconnect that. No sense in disconnecting pretty much anything else because this whole thing is going. The case is going. The case is old too. Everything is old at this point, so it's coming out. Let's see. Did I tie down? Yeah, I'm definitely going to get that cover off. And what did I do with my cutters? I don't seem to have a pair of cutters here. That seems unusual. Okay, well, I can get those relatively quickly. They're probably upstairs, but I can get to them. Okay, anyway, that's out. That's out. Yeah, I'm going to need those cutters to get these other things out of here. Let me see where I have those. If not, I can just twist them off with a pair of needle nose pliers. That'll work too. They're not very thick. They're the tiny, tiny guys. So if I have to, I'll just twist them off. Which I think I can probably do without too much trouble. There we go. There's one. Just going to twist them off. Yeah. That's fine. So get that. I got to get this out of here, which will require the back cover. And then these are also a couple of cables pinched back here, so I'll have to take care of those too. That up into area here. Okay, so yeah, all right. I think let's undo this screw here. That should not release that panel, but I'm gonna have to take the screws out anyway. All right, so yeah, there's still another screw on the other side. So all right, let's flip this over. There's all the spacers. Don't want to lose them. All right. So there's that. One pinches that. The other screw for the panel. Great guy, Greg M. Oh, you guys are showing up. Well, this is not going to be too terribly long. I just wanted to, as I said before, I want to get this just out of here. It doesn't be here anymore. It has served its purpose for all intents and purposes. It's time to move on. And let's see. Oh, wait. I'm going to have to take the motherboard tray out. I have this pinched between the metal and the motherboard tray. Yeah, so I'm I'm going to have to take the motherboard out. Oh, son of a bitch. I did my job too well. I got that snuck in there without any problem. Oh, and I still got to take the motherboard out because I got to get the bracket off. So, I was hoping, I forgot that this case does not have the space where you have access to things. Again, this is how old this case is. This case is probably at least as old as the motherboard, and the motherboard's from like 2011, 2012, something like that. So, crap. All right. Well, that's fine. What I can do in the meantime, though, is I can get this. Yeah, there's a tire right there. Get this guy out of here real quick. That out. I forgot it didn't have the opening here. So there's a lesson for you, boys and girls. There comes a point when, yeah, you like to keep a hold of things and whatnot, but they get in your way. So that ought to tell you something right there. Now let's see, I should be able to sneak that in there. There we go. That's there, that's there. All right, I can't get the power supply out till I get this out here. Rats. I was hoping I wouldn't have to take the motherboard out. Well, that's annoying. Okay. Take the motherboard out. I'm going to go right back in, but I got to take it out. Still working. Well, I'm retired, so working is relative. But yeah, I'm always doing something. Even if it's just, watching YouTube for hours on end, which I probably shouldn't do anyway. But yeah, I'm always doing something. I try to keep busy. Sometimes I get too busy, and the next thing I know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. That has happened to me on more than one occasion. Although, at this point, I think my age is catching up with me. I don't do that nearly as much as I used to. Let's get this here. Okay. One here. Should be able to just lift this end of the motherboard up, get the bracket off, get the 8-pin out from underneath there without having to take any of this off. Not that it matters anyway. I mean, really, I can throw everything back completely unhooked, but there's the power cable. There's my bracket. Need my bracket. Sneak this bad boy up here. Alright. and she'll go back in. It's done. That's out of there. This is out of here. Standoff. There's one, there's two, there's three. There. Okay, there's all four. Okay, got it. All the standoffs, so I'm not missing any of them. Okay, so I'll put the screws back on the board. Not that it really matters, but I'll put them back in anyway. Just because. It's not like I don't have enough motherboard screws of one type or another. I've got more than I know what the hell to do with. So. Who's not lining up here? Oh, now it's lining up. There it goes. This is going on with anything. Frankie B. Didn't see you there earlier, but thank you for stopping by. Who else have I missed? I don't think I missed anybody else. Stealth, Tony, Greg M, Jeff, Greg Guy. I see you there. He's there. Frankie B. I think that's it. I don't think I've missed anybody. Anyway, yeah, I've got two builds that I want to do. There's the white build, which I've been harping at forever, that I'm going to do. Well, all the parts are in here. They came. And a bit pricier than I would have liked, but that unfortunately is one of the things when you decide that you want to do a themed build, and especially if it's white, unfortunately that tends to cost a premium. I did find a motherboard that was mostly white that was affordable. That was fine. And the cases, depending on whose case you get, it's not too bad. But you ever try to get a hold of a white GPU that's reasonable? It's a little tough. I did find one. It is an Intel Arc A750. So the white build will be an all Intel build, at least from the standpoint of the processor and the graphics card. I'll be putting in the 12400. That should be more than enough match for the A750. And I think aesthetically it'll turn out quite pleasing. So we shall see. Am I keeping the case in? No, I am not. The case and the motherboard are going away. The case and the motherboard are from 2011 or 2012. There is no reason to be keeping any of this stuff anymore. Okay, that should be all the screws in the motherboard. Again, not that it matters. It's going to go to electronic recycling, but I like to be at least somewhat neat about it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, power supply is ready to come out. This power supply will be reused in one of the two builds that I have coming up. So it won't go to waste. It will be quote unquote recycled. And the build, the one build is going to be essentially, it's going to be just a generic office build. It's going to be an 11400, 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's going to be a 512 drive, but it's going to be in an interesting micro ATX case that I found. So I think you'll appreciate the case, if nothing else. But yeah, that should be it, I think. Yep. Okay, so that's it. I think it's raining. Excuse me 1 second, guys. I'm going to open the door, back door here, and just double check. Oh, good Lord. Woo! Yeah, it's, jeez, cats and dogs. Literally cats and dogs, I think. Holy crap. That just started within the last 10 minutes? Something like that? Holy crap. It is pouring like you would not believe. I think it might be coming down about an inch an hour at the rate it sounds like it's coming down. All right, so let me get this fan off of here. Again, I will reuse these fans. They're not that old. Wow, yeah. You could open that back door and you would think it was Niagara Falls out there. Jesus, good Lord. All right, I need to double check something here. Just bear with me a minute, guys. Where did my chat go? Where did my chat go? Where's my chat? There it is. Okay, got it buried behind something. There we go. Okay. Amazon return, got the 513,600 and motherboard. Okay. That's a shame. It really is a shame. I mean, look, everybody knows, or at least everybody should know at this point, that I am an AMD fanboy. Okay. So part of me is just sitting back quietly and smiling. AMD did have their one issue with, it was the 7800 X3Ds that were burning up, and that was literally just a voltage problem. What's going on with Intel is, at least from what my understanding is a lot more than just a voltage problem. There seems to be something else going on. So take that for what you will. Come on, yeah. Let's get that cover back on there. Okay. All right, so I think this is about as stripped down as it's going to get. Well, I could. No, I don't want to do that. This motherboard came with a graphics card. That's literally a basic graphics card just because the 6100 didn't have any onboard graphics. It's very basic. I think it might be, if it's a 1 gig card, I think we're lucky. R6450. I don't even think it has a gig on it. It may have even less. But I'm keeping this around because it's a good test card. It works. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just that don't ever try to play any games with anything like this. But it's a good test card. It doesn't require extra power. It has pretty much all three that I could ever have to use. So if I had a system in where it's a question of, well, is the graphics card screwed or not, this would tell me pretty quickly. So I'm going to be keeping that around. All right, so that's done. Let me put this front cover back on. So that's pretty much it. Everything else that I think that I can, I've stripped out of this, or anything that I really want, I've stripped out of this. So that's it. So anyway, I still managed to get thermal paste on myself. Never fails. Always get, no matter what I do, I always get it on myself. So that's always fun. anybody want to ask me any questions, you're certainly welcome to do that. Because, I mean, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just slap the two side covers on this thing, set it on the floor to get it ready to go out to electronic cycling. So there's no, I don't know if you guys heard that or not. Don't know if you heard it, but bada boom, big bada boom, multipass. Anyway, oh, you did hear it. Okay, I wasn't sure. I don't know how much noise suppression I have on the microphone. Big bada boom. Lelo Dallas, multipass. So, get these in here. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. I'm missing one of the screws for the other panel. I think it wound up upstairs for some reason. In any case, that's there. The other cover on it. I do have one of the other one is upstairs. Got stuck to the bottom of my iPad because I have a magnetic cover on one of the lenses, and I think I had set it down on the workbench. I think it just picked it up, and by the time I got upstairs, I didn't realize it was there. So, all right, that's pretty much it. So, that's out of here. So things that I'm going to wind up reusing at one point or another. That's a GTX 1050. I think it's the 1050 Ti, I think. But it's definitely 1050. Again, it's another card that doesn't require external power. So it's a good test card. I would never sell it to anybody, quite frankly, because it's pretty much useless. I got these two Cooler Master fans. They're pretty decent. Like I said, they come in a multi-pack. I've got my cooler that there. Some fan screws for for these guys here. I've got the DDR3. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure if I'll ever use them or not, but on the off chance that I might need them for something, they don't take up a lot of space, so I'll keep them around. And then I've got this little guy here, two USB 3s on the back here. It's got a connector here, which is what that panel was plugged into. What did I do with that panel? Ah, there's it. So if you had an older system, you could use this. This is one piece that's sold on Amazon. And then you have these guys here that fit in a 3.5-inch slot if you have one on your case. Looks right into there, so I might be able to reuse that at some point. Again, we have the A data. They are on my, well, I can say it because I really don't care. I'm not monetized. They are on my shit list for the way that they pretty much botched my 2 terabyte RMA for an NVMe. But there's nothing wrong with the drive. There's nothing wrong with these drives. I've used these many times. This is a 512. So if somebody comes in with either a dead hard drive or a failing hard drive, I can still swap that out. I think that's all she wrote. Let me get over to my OBS here. Let me go to here, here. Come on, open. There we go. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Hang on. I muted myself. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I muted myself. Okay. Anyway. I've got the office build to do. And then there's the white build. Some of you can see some of the parts over here. That's coming up. The office build's going to be first because that's the simplest. It will give me another opportunity to test to make sure that the streamer's okay. Because like I said, the last time I tried to do a live stream, it basically threw up over itself. I think I finally figured out all the issues that were going on. I think one of them was the GPU that I was using. I had a 1080 in the system that I think is failing. So that was one problem with the system. The other problem I think might have been with the system is I was a little too aggressive with the undervolt on the CPU. I've changed that. All of that seems to have vastly stabilized everything, so that should be okay. I think that's it. I don't think I've missed anything else. If anybody has any questions before I go, which is what, it's a little after 9. Ken Stout has probably got his live stream set to go. I don't want to run into him at all, which I kind of doubted that I would, but it shouldn't be a problem. Any questions before I go? Don't see anything yet. I know that there's a bit of a delay. You guys should still at least have audio. My indication is I do have audio back. Like I said, I muted myself by accident, so it's fine. Oh, that's Molly. Yep, see, knows her name at least. That's Daddy's girl. Let me put a light on and see if that might help a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's her. That's Daddy's girl. She'll be 14 next month. So she's getting up there. She just wants to be with Dad. That's all. She drives my wife crazy. If I don't have her down here, she drives the wife crazy because she just whines and goes on and carries on. So now that I've got the new chair, she can have the old chair. She's welcome to it. So that gets her down here, gets her out of the wife's hair, and I think everybody's happy all around because I don't have to hear it from her. She doesn't have to hear it from her. It's kind of a snowball effect, you know? That's the deal. Okay. Let's see. Noticed the new build is an i5. Yes, it is. It's an i5 12400. It is not a 13. It is not a 14. It is 12th gen. And it was done that way for several reasons. I actually made the decision to do that before all of this crapola hit. And 12th gen, to the best of my knowledge, is safe. Shouldn't be a problem. Also, that processor is at max a 65 watt part. There's no overclock. There's none of that kind of nonsense. So that shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. There we go. A little scratch session. Let's see. Yeah, safe. Yeah, safe for that for now. until we, I don't know, maybe we find out that Intel's been lying to us for the last 5, 6 years. Who knows? Anything's possible. All right, guys, if that's it, I think that's going to do it for me. And what is the issue? 13th and the 13th and 14th gen, especially the overclock parts, the K SKUs. It originally started out, they thought it was just the i9s, i9 13s, i9 14s were a problem. Now it's pretty much been determined that anything that's 60, well, maybe not 65 watts, but anything over that's over a 65 watt CPU has got an issue. And it seems to, by inches, it seems to be like, oh, well, maybe it's all the 13th and 14th gen. They're having degradation problems. There has been some indication that there was a fab problem for a little while. There's no way to determine any of this because Intel won't come out and clarify anything. They won't clarify. There's a voltage issue going on. Supposedly, from what I know, and I don't know everything, and I'm not probably a reliable source of information, but from what I understand, there were two issues. There is a fab issue where the parts are oxidizing when they shouldn't be, or as quickly as they should be. And then there's a voltage issue. And the voltage issue is, I think, twofold. Some of it is the board people, but some of it is also Intel. Intel's microcode is apparently sending bad voltage requests from the motherboard. So it's basically telling the motherboard, I want this. And the motherboard goes, okay, fine. Yeah, there hasn't been much in the way of checks on that kind of thing. So anyway, that's what I believe is going on. All right, guys, I got to get going. So I will catch you at some point down the line. I'm hoping that I will have something to a little bit later on this month. At the end of the month, into the beginning of next month, I'm going to be busy. I'm working the polls, so I'm going to be very, very busy. Anyway, catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Ta-ta.